Imagine being elected to Congress, sworn in to serve your community, and hearing thousands of people saying, send her back. That's exactly what happened to Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, a US citizen, a lawmaker, and someone who's serving her district. Critics argue she's using US taxpayers' money to support communities in Somalia and that she's putting her loyalty to her heritage ahead of the country she serves. But here is the thing. Ilhan Omar, like other members of Congress, votes on foreign aid. The US gave billions of humanitarian and development assistance every year. Supporting communities abroad isn't illegal. It's part of American foreign policy. Still, opponents frame this as betrayal. They claim that by advocating for aid to Somalia, Omar is taking money away from America here at home. And that's the heart of the controversy. Identity, loyalty, and where your priorities lies. Some Americans have gone further saying if she cares about Somalia so much, she shouldn't be here. And that's where the chance of deportation come from. Even though Omar is naturalized US citizen, meaning deportation isn't legally possible. This isn't just politics, it's a debate about race, nationality, and belonging in America. And it's about how far some people will go when they feel threatened by someone who represents more than one word. My name is Faith, and welcome back to Chat with Faith. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found this channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a conversation. As always, credit goes to the original creators for every clip used in this episode. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for your support so far. I really appreciate. We've got more clips and conversation coming your way, so stay tuned. Let's chat.
Trump just called for AOC and Ilhan Omar to be thrown out of the country because he doesn't like them, and his supporters started chanting, "Send her back." This is exactly what Democrats have warned about for years now. Remember when Trump said he was only going to go after the criminals? Now he's going after members of Congress, and his supporters absolutely love it. Take a look.
She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
Right after that, he said this: "Get them the hell out of here. They hate our country, and she hates our country, and her friends hate our country, and AOC hates our country." First of all, Ilhan Omar did not marry her brother to become a citizen. This is a debunked conspiracy theory with zero evidence to back it up. Multiple independent fact checks and investigations by various different news outlets have found these claims to be false. Ilhan Omar and AOC are American citizens, both of whom are elected members of Congress. For a president to stand on a stage and say they should be thrown out of the country because he doesn't like them is the exact type of escalation Democrats warned about. This isn't about crime or safety, and it never was. It's all about control. He's labeling political opponents as enemies of the state. Once he convinces people that the Democrats hate our country, it becomes much easier to take away their rights.
Ilhan Omar, the Congresswoman from Minnesota, it's time for you to get deported. We don't want you here. You can't be using our taxpayers' money, our hard-earned taxpayers' money to fund the Somalis. So you're not working in the best interest of us, the Americans. You're working for the Somalis. So that can't be. So we want you out of this country. Get your ass off. Bullshit.
Everywhere you look, these Democrats are committing fraud and getting caught for it. Ilhan Omar married her own brother to help him stay in the U.S. According to this article put out just a couple hours ago, a new wave of allegations have emerged against Rep. Ilhan Omar, Democrat out of Minnesota, following a statement from a Somali community leader who states that Omar married her own brother to facilitate his immigration into the United States. According to the source, Omar admitted that she would do whatever she had to do to help her brother obtain legal status in the country, even if that means committing immigration fraud. The claims have reignited an ongoing controversy surrounding Omar's marriage history, which first surfaced in 2016. Omar, one of the first Muslim women elected Congress and a member of the Progressive Squad. More like radical leftist squad that chants burn down America. But anyways, the Somali community leader who has chosen to remain anonymous reportedly told the Daily Mail that Omar had privately acknowledged her actions, saying it was necessary to ensure her brother's ability to remain in the U.S. The leader claims Omar married Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi, who they allege is her brother, in 2009 for the purpose of immigration fraud, and divorced him in 2017 after their marriage was no longer needed. If you calculate everything that has come out about the Democratic Party in the past few days alone, I think it's safe to say that in the next few months, there's not going to be a Democratic Party left.
Republicans have repeatedly stated that you committed immigration fraud. Are you at all worried about a formal investigation that could perhaps lead to your deportation?
Well, you're one of those people.
I don't know what that means, but are you at all concerned?
Do I look concerned?
I guess not.
Okay. All right.
What about the Minnesota fraud hearing? You didn't show up for that. Do you think you should have?
Why should I have?
Well, it happened in your state. Don't you want to defend your position?
There were people from my state that were there.
Okay, but why not you? I mean, there's allegations that you're complicit in the fraud. Wouldn't you want to show up?
Why would there be an allegation that I'm complicit? How would I be complicit?
Well, what about Tim Walz?
You just ask stupid questions? Is this your thing?
I'm curious to get your thoughts. I mean, there's a lot of controversy around the issue. $9 billion in fraud in the state of Minnesota.
$9 billion?
You don't think so?
Really?
Yeah, and counting. Probably more, honestly. You think that's fake news or what?
That is more than half of the resources that are allocated. Okay, so you genuinely, your brain has told you that it is possible for half of the resources.
I'm just going off of what
for our public service to half disappear is what you're saying.
Countless Minnesota state representatives, whistleblowers have come
listen
forward.
To yourself, though.
I'm
just think about that for a second.
Maybe if you showed up at the hearing, you would know that whistleblowers are being retaliated against for exposing the fraud. Why is that? Why are they being tracked and
just
traced?
Think about what you're asking. Who is tracing whistleblowers?
Minnesota state officials, Tim Walz, anyone who dares to speak out against the government.
Tim Walz is doing something to whistleblowers?
Why is Tim Walz stepping down if he's, innocent? Why isn't he running for re-election?
Because he's had 8 years to serve as our great governor.
He was going to be vice president of the United States if Kamala won.
Yes, and he would have been an excellent vice president.
But now he's stepping down.
Much better than the person we have right now.
And now he's stepping down as governor. Any comment on that? You don't think he's maybe complicit?
He is focusing on trying to make sure our state remains great.
Right.
All right. Have a nice day.
Trump is holding a press conference right now, and objectively, he does not look good. And he does not sound good. He just accused Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of marrying her brother. He then called for her to be deported back to Somalia. He said if she was deported back to Somalia, she probably wouldn't be alive. He said the only kind of immigrants that he wants in our country are ones who will kiss America goodnight. And he also said very clearly that soon the United States will begin a land invasion of Venezuela. The reporter asked him, so you support the strikes on the boats in the sea off the coast of Venezuela? And he said yes. And she reiterated, you support killing survivors. If the boat is disabled in some way and there are survivors, you support sending more strikes to kill those survivors. And he said, I support destroying all the boats. I support everything that we are doing. And soon you will see strikes on land, similar to what you see in the sea. Now, unfortunately, no one in the press corps pushed back and said, are you saying that the United States will invade Venezuela? But he very clearly said that the United States will begin land attacks similar to what we've seen at sea. Congress has not declared war on Venezuela, nor have they appropriated a budget for a war. And I know there's going to be some people who say the president has the right to do special military operations. Okay? Let's make it normal. Donald Trump saying he knows what houses drug dealers live in and where drugs are being manufactured doesn't justify an American military invasion of a country. Especially when Donald Trump just pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was in prison for sending millions of dollars in cocaine to America, for saying, I will put cocaine in the nose of every American. He just pardoned that guy. And now he wants the American public to accept American soldiers invading Venezuela to fight narco-terrorism. people are going to die because this man wants to exact some kind of regime change. Which is crazy because he was the first person to recognize the Maduro regime. When Maduro won his election, no other country would recognize his win because they said it was illegitimate. Donald Trump recognized Maduro first. He was the one who recognized and gave credence to this administration. If he had not done that in his first term, we wouldn't be where we are. Elizabeth Warren said that there needs to be an investigation into these potential war crimes. We need to be getting on that this week. It's giving weapons of mass destruction are found in Venezuela. Fool me once. Shame on me. We cannot do this again. We cannot allow a Republican president to tell us that there is a danger in another country that only they know about and send our sons and daughters off to die. We can't.
What's that? That's the marriage certificate for Omar to her brother. Who posted it? The White House. Yeah, she's probably not going to be here for a long time. If she's allowed to stay after the White House posted that, there's a bigger problem here in this country. They posted all the details of when he arrived, when they got married, everything. On top of all the fraud that she's allegedly involved in, it looks like they're a lot deeper into that investigation than they're letting us see. But her time is coming, and I'm here for it because we've been having this conversation so long, probably a good close to a decade, if not more. Are you going to appreciate and celebrate if she gets deported? Yeah, me too. Exactly.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
So according to the Somali Queen of Congress, Ilhan Omar, we must be deathly afraid of the white man. As a matter of fact, the greatest threat in America today are white men. As a matter of fact, these individuals are so dangerous that the best thing you can do in order to protect yourself from them is to marry them. That's right, folks. According to the Somali Queen of Congress, white men are so dangerous that you need to go ahead and lay up with one every night and wake up to one every morning. If this does not reek of hypocrisy, folks, I don't know what the hell does. Speechless.
So you marry your brother, you open up a couple of fake Somali daycares, like the Quality Luring Center. You steal millions of taxpayer dollars. Now what do? Do you sleep with your brother? How does it work? I mean, is that why all you guys look a little weird?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have many brothers, and yes, I marry them to get them visas and shit like that. And yeah, okay, there is a little inbreeding going on. We do get our freak on from time to time between brothers and sisters, but it's just how we do it in Somalia, Plus it gets really cold in Minnesota, and sometimes all you got to keep yourself warm is your brother. So a girl gotta do what a girl gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
America is in what I can only call an autocorrect mode, where we are seeing the signs on a daily basis, day in, day out, that we are indeed healing as a nation. Now, Ilhan Omar has officially been removed from the Committee of Foreign Affairs. How she got the damn job, I have no idea. I mean, if you know about Ilhan, you know that this is an individual who has a deep disdain for America. She has a genuine hatred for what America represents and stands for. Even as somebody who is not from America, who has a place of power in America, she somehow views us as lesser than. But I digress. This is the real story. Good riddance. Goodbye. Thank God. Arrivederci. Okay? Ilhan, The Democratic platform has had you believe that individuals like yourself actually deserve the positions of power that you're in. You have been deluded into believing that this is what the American people want, is American hating as opposed to America first. Well, turns out that after you clear out enough of the corruption and you allow the people's voices to be heard, the likes of you will no longer have a job. It's truly that simple. Now, this is, again, early signs, early stages, but we will indeed clear all of this out. Y'all hear the news about the rogue activist judges, clearing them out. Y'all are hearing about the cases that are being put together in the DOJ and the FBI's, etc., clearing them out. It will take some time. There's been a lot of damage done over the last few decades, frankly. So be patient, but we're seeing signs of land, folks.
What purpose, gentlewoman from South Carolina, seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows. House Resolution 713, censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota and removing her from the Committee on Education and Workforce and the Committee on the Budget. Whereas Charlie Kirk was a lifelong advocate for freedom of speech, civil political discourse, and the political engagement of youth. Whereas Charlie Kirk was a man of deep faith, a husband, and a father to 2 young children. Whereas on September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk was assassinated on the campus of Utah Valley University while exercising his First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Whereas on September 11th, 2025, one day after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Representative Ilhan Omar gave an interview on Zateo's town hall with Mehdi Hassan in which she smeared Charlie Kirk and implied he was to blame for his own murder.
Here's more of what Ilhan Omar said on Kirk's death.
Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. You have people like Nancy Mace who constantly harass, people that she finds inferior and wants them not to exist in this country or ever. You have people like Trump who has incited violence against people like me. And so, these people are foolish, and it's important for us to call them out while we feel anger and sadness.
The House floor erupted in intensity as Nancy Mace unleashed a fiery speech that shook the chamber. Standing tall and unwavering, she introduced a resolution to censure Representative Ilhan Omar after her controversial remarks about Charlie Kirk's assassination. This was Nancy Mace's moment, and she delivered it with passion and conviction. Stay tuned, and don't forget to click the subscribe button for more hard-hitting updates.
Whereas on September 12th, 2025, 2 days after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Representative Ilhan Omar reposted a video on X, formerly known as Twitter, which disparaged the character of Charlie Kirk and those mourning his death. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X states Charlie Kirk is dead, and before the body got cold, the far right propped his corpse up as a cudgel for their holy war. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states, don't be fooled. These people don't give a single shit about Charlie Kirk. They are just using his death to further their Christo-fascist agenda. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states Charlie Kirk was a reprehensible human being. He enacted his political agenda by preying on weak-minded people. He took complex socioeconomic issues and simplified them by pointing fingers at outgroups, demonizing those groups, and siccing his massive following on them. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states Charlie Kirk was a stochastic terrorist, an adamant transphobe. He denied the genocide happening in Palestine. He believed the subjugation of women, and in his last dying words, he was spewing racist dog whistles. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further states, Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck. Whereas the video Representative Ilhan Omar reposted on X further blames Charlie Kirk for his own murder. Whereas Clause 1 of Rule 13 of the Rules of the House of Representatives provides a member, delegate, resident commissioner, officer, or employee of the House shall behave at all times in a manner that shall reflect credibility on the House. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar's actions in the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk are reprehensible and affect the dignity and integrity of the proceedings of the House and do not reflect the credibility on the House. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured. Representative Ilhan Omar forthwith present herself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. Representative Ilhan Omar be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker, and Representative Ilhan Omar be and is hereby removed from the Committee on Education and Workforce and removed from the Committee on the Budget of the House.
Nancy Mace rose to speak, her voice cutting through the room with strength and clarity. She wasted no time, invoking House Rule 9 and laying out House Resolution 713. From the very first words, it was clear she was not backing down. The resolution was bold: censure Ilhan Omar, strip her of her committee assignments, and send a message that disrespect toward a fallen American would not be tolerated. In her speech, Mace reminded the chamber of who Charlie Kirk was: a husband, a father, a man of faith, and a fierce advocate for freedom of speech. His assassination on September 10, 2025, while speaking at Utah Valley University, was a shocking act of violence. Mace honored his legacy, demanding that Congress stand with the values Kirk represented, rather than allow his memory to be dragged through the mud. Mace did not hold back when addressing Omar's actions. She condemned the interview Omar gave just one day after Kirk's death, where she smeared him and implied he was responsible for his own murder. She called out Omar's repost of a vile video that labeled Kirk a stochastic terrorist and mocked those mourning him. The chamber grew tense as Mace's words echoed with power, making it clear that Omar's remarks were an insult to the nation and to the House itself. The fire in Nancy Mace's voice grew stronger as she pressed the importance of House rules. Members, she declared, must conduct themselves in a way that reflects credibility on the institution. Omar's behavior, she argued, was reprehensible, a disgrace to the dignity of Congress, and a betrayal of the public trust. Mace positioned herself as a defender of principle, standing up not just for Kirk, but for the values of decency and accountability. Nancy Mace's resolution demanded action. Ilhan Omar should be censured, forced to stand before the House for a public rebuke, and stripped of her committee assignments. This was more than punishment. It was a declaration that Congress would not tolerate disrespect, slander, and the politicization of tragedy. Applause broke through as Mace's fiery defense resonated with many in the chamber. Nancy Mace turned the House floor into a battleground, and she walked away as the clear voice of strength and principle. Her fiery speech set the tone for what could become one of the most consequential showdowns in recent memory.
Controversy over Ilhan Omar continues because critics believe she consistently places foreign interest over American citizens. They argue that directing taxpayers' money abroad while Americans face pressing challenges is a misissue of her position and authority. Calls for her deportation reflect this frustrating. Critics feel that when a politician appears to prioritize other countries, it undermines trust and accountability. They argue that holding office in U.S. comes with the responsibility to serve Americans first, and that failing to do so has consequences. At the core of this debate is a question of representation. Americans expect their elected officials to protect their interests, safeguard taxpayers' money, and focus on domestic priorities. From the viewpoint of our opponent, Omar's action shows a consistent disregard for the expectation. The anger is not just about the money. It's about principle. People want leaders who are loyal to country that elected them, who serve their constituents above all. And from the perspective of many Americans, Ilhan Omar is failing that test. For critics, the message is clear. Leadership comes with accountability. Taxpayers' money must serve Americans first. And if a politician cannot prioritize her own country, the cause for her removal will continue to grow. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our updates. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section, so please do well to do that. See you in my next video.